So Pyra and Mythra recently came out, and instead of actually playing with them, or playing Smash in general, I thought now would be a great time to consider who the final two characters could be. This is more of an update to my previous predictions video, which I made at the start of this year. To summarize my predictions, I guessed a new Nintendo character, Crash Bandicoot, and a new Capcom character, specifically Monster Hunter. And to be honest, before Sakurai made his presentation on Pyra and Mythra, I was just gonna leave my predictions the exact same. My first prediction being a Nintendo character was actually correct. While I played around with the ideas of another Zelda or Pokemon character, I did suggest the possibility of Rex from Xenoblade 2. Pyra and Mythra on the other hand, sure, let's pretend I meant them. Either way, my first prediction was technically correct as it was a general Nintendo character. And moving on, I don't expect any more first-party characters. I still agree with my choice of Crash Bandicoot in particular. If you really want to see my reasoning behind the choice, I get it. It's a pretty crazy prediction. There's a link in the description to my previous video if you want to watch it. However, my final character prediction, which is the one I specifically want to go over, was a Capcom character. I was pretty confident about Monster Hunter to be honest, but then Sakurai had to hit us with the Capcom Mii costumes. If one of the following DLC characters is going to be from Capcom, you'd think that 1. The character would have specifically been used to market for Rise instead of just Mii costumes, and 2. The Mii costumes would have been shown alongside the Capcom character anyway. I just find it really unlikely. While I'm not an expert on Monster Hunter, I would have assumed that they'd go with the Rathalos design, like in Marvel vs. Capcom, and, well, the costume they just added back into the game. Sure, they could use the Rise design in particular, or maybe another Capcom character in general, but then again, I really don't see why they would have announced Capcom Mii costumes in the Pyra and Mythra presentation, as opposed to a potential Capcom one. Anyway, that begs the question. We know who one of my two character predictions are, being Crash Bandicoot, but who is my final character prediction now? If you have been around my channel for a while, you'd know I made this video back at the start of 2020. The final character choice I went with was a Bandai Namco character, and I didn't mention it in my last video, but it was a very close character I nearly went with. I cut it in favour of a Capcom character, but it was my 4th overall choice for a character, and to this day I'd say it's still a very likely prediction overall. Bandai Namco have of course developed both Smash 4 and Ultimate, and within this period of time they've only had one character, being Pac-Man, so you'd think that they deserve at least one more rep. I would have gone with Heihachi from Tekken, because I feel like outside Pac-Man, that's Namco's most recognizable and iconic character, but the problem with him is that Sakurai has gone on to say in the past that he would be too difficult to implement in Smash, and also the fact that they added a Mii costume of him in relatively recently. Well, I guess if I had to choose another character, I would go with Lloyd from Tales of Symphonia. He had a Mii costume in Smash 4, and I think it's actually the last Mii costume that hasn't been brought back. Yet. The Tales of series is one of Bandai Namco's larger franchises, and Lloyd would have to be the most well-known character from that franchise. Though, to be honest, I'm not really familiar with Bandai Namco properties, so there's always a possibility that a Tekken character or someone from another series could become playable. Let me know in the comments if there's any good Namco character choices. So I guess that's my final prediction. Crash and Lloyd. Pretty generic predictions if you ask me, but oh well, so be it. I guess if I had to go with an honourable mention, it would be Ryu Hayabusa from Ninja Gaiden. I do think he definitely deserves to be in the game. He's the last major NES character to be included, and if Koei Tecmo, who do work pretty closely with Nintendo, were to get a playable character, it would definitely be him. The way Sakurai worded it, it sounds like this pass is going to be the final one. Obviously I could just be reading into it wrong. I mean, I always see speculation of a third fighter's pass anyway, and it does seem like something that would be very beneficial to Nintendo, obviously to keep interest in Smash Ultimate for the entirety of the Switch's lifecycle, but I'm actually pretty against another Fighter's Pass at this point. Sakurai has been working on Smash non-stop for nearly a decade now. I mean, Kid Icarus Uprising is easily my favourite 3DS game, and the early Kirby games are fantastic. Sakurai is a very talented and passionate game designer and director, and to see all his efforts and potential wasted on more DLC would be very disappointing to me. I'd love to see what Sakurai has up his sleeves besides Smash, and as it stands, it's been way too long since we've seen any non-Smash projects from him. That and, well, he deserves a long break anyway. Besides, wait, what's that? Sorry everyone, I've just got an urgent news from my agent. Send the video feed. There it is, Sakurai's office. Wait, there it is, zoom in. The locked drawer with the final 2 characters. Apply the X-ray vision. Decompress the image.